Okay, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to add a brood box onto my blue hive. So I'm going to exchange this brood box right here for this yellow one that's going to go on the yellow hive, so we won't have mix match boxes anymore. And I have feeders here because I'm not expecting either of these hives to produce any honey. That's not my goal this year. I just want them to fill up both brood boxes full of, draw out the comb on all the frames and fill it full of honey and brood to get them through the winter. So I have my feeders here. So I filled this with 2-to-1 ratio. So 2 cups of sugar per every 1 cup of water. And I have some in here. And then I also have put a little bit of this Pro Health in there. I buy this like once a year just because I don't have that many hives and I don't feed that often, but I feel like it's supposed to help their digestion and it's just like supplements. So the biggest reason why I'm feeding them is to help them draw out the comb. So I have empty frames there that are going to go on the blue hive, and I didn't have time to, but what would be nice and what was suggested to me by one of my bee association members, he said to melt some wax and then paint it or like roll the wet wax onto your frames to help them draw out the comb a little bit easier. I didn't have time for that because I went to Vermont and it's been 2 weeks since I've been here, so I just want to get these frames on ASAP so they have more time to draw the comb out, fill it with honey, and hopefully get set up for winter. And if they don't, then we'll just take it off and hope for the best. But feeding them is going to help them draw out that comb and give them a little bit of a boost. So let's do this. It's going to be kind of like a combo hive inspection because I'm going to have both of them apart at the same time, exchanging these brood boxes out. And I'm going to take off the honey supers on both hives too, so they have less room to have to heat. It is still supposed to be warm out in the next like 10 days or so, but it's going to start getting cooler at night, so I don't want them to start kind of like freezing on those outer frames. So I'm going to see how they're doing on this super. I don't expect like any honey or anything like that, so I'm just going to remove it. So let's do this. So yeah, you can see here they're just kind of having, on this outermost frame, it's like hardly filled up with anything. They haven't drawn the comb out on it that much. So hopefully with this feeding, they'll be able to do so. This is a nice hefty frame of honey. Same here. Oh. This is a beautiful frame. You can see right in the middle there is all their brood. And then around it is just capped honey. So this is like a beautiful looking frame going into winter. Let's see the other side. The other side they're packing full of honey. So that is going to be probably eventually. I see some bees are coming out of some brood on the bottom, but looks like they're going to just fill it with honey. But that is a gorgeous looking frame. put them in their new home. Right, so I've got some queen super seedure cells forming. Right here, there's 2 here, and then there's 1 down here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and nip those off. Obviously they're not capped, but I just like to nip them off preemptively. Obviously I don't want her going anywhere anytime soon, especially going into winter. I want her to stay here. I stole that cover from the red hive because I need to put my feeder on top of it. So it only goes through the hole and they're not coming up and filling up that top box with a bunch of random comb. So I'm gonna have to buy another one. That's something that I've just spaced, and then I'll replace that one next time I come. Get it all painted up. So I'm gonna literally just place my feeder. So I'm gonna put it upside down, get it to stop leaking. Once it forms that vacuum seal, I'm gonna place it right over this hole. Get it all straightened out. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna take off that super on the blue box, put that new brood box on top, get the feeder in there, and I'm gonna do every other from the bottom brood box frames on the top, so it kind of draws them out to the second brood box to get them working. Look at all that honey. Right. And that's all she wrote, folks. So we're all done here. Another great day in the apiary. We'll be back next week to do a check-in to see how they're doing and fill up our feeders and check on our red hive. Our red hive's doing really well. A lot of honey in the first super, so hopefully that just continues. I'm really thinking that I'll be able to get both supers full of honey this year to harvest. You can see that fall has arrived here, so you can see the leaves are turning and we have a lot